Mr. Trump.
Good morning. You're talking about stealth. That's very interesting.
Yes, we were talking about the stealth, the drone that went down in Iran.
And you think they're going to give it back? Is that, or were you being sarcastic?
I was kidding.
I think Jim Norton was being facetious.
Okay, I was curious.
Yeah, because I don't think they'll give back anything.
No.
Maybe if we get Ronald Reagan in office,
Yeah,
that's what happens.
Ronald Reagan, they'd give it back.
That's when they start giving stuff back, when we put Reagan in office. But, yeah, Mr. Donald Trump.
It's been a while.
You're not a big fan of Obama, and because you happen to call it this moment. Middle East policy. Do you think that he's handled that well, or do you think that he has not done a good job there with the Middle East?
Well, it's a disaster. I mean, if you look at Libya, I mean, look at what's going on with Iraq, and I will tell you this: as sure as you folks are sitting there, within a very short period after we leave Iraq. As soon as we leave, Iran is going to take over those incredible oil fields. You know, they have the second largest oil reserves in the world after Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Iran will go in. You know, we've totally wiped out their army. They have no army. And they're going to go in and they're going to take over Iraq as sure as you're sitting there, and they're going to take over those incredible. What do we get? We spend $1.5 trillion, thousands of young, wonderful people killed, wounded all over the place, 40,000 people wounded, badly, severely wounded, and we get nothing.
Now, what would you think would be the solution if not to pull all our troops out? Now, I believe me, I don't agree with Obama either. But what would your solution be that would keep that from happening?
Well, I would have done much different, and I still would, to be honest with you. I'd take the oil. I would just take the oil. You know, in the old days, we'd have a war, and you have a war. If you win, you keep to the spoils. Right. And I would absolutely, very simply keep at a minimum, take our money back, the $1.5 trillion. Pay the soldiers. I would. Every single soldier that died, their families get $5 million. You know what that is? That's nothing compared to the values that we're talking about.
It's like
in terms of in the
stuff.
ground. So I would do something like that. When we leave Iran, we made it possible for Iran. You know, Iran's been trying to take over Iraq for many years. And
They had a little skirmish there a few years back.
Well, now we've denuded their army. I mean, they have no army.
Right.
So Iran will just, they were equally balanced. One would move 100 yards, the other would move it. Then they'd start throwing gas at each other. Then they'd all sort of say, all right, we'll see you in about 50 years.
Here's what